Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Another episode of Trash Talk. I'm TJ O'Connor, not joined tonight by my partner Damian the Wolverine Hill. He's dealing with our fine friends at the local DMV establishment, so we all know how much fun he's having. But I am joined tonight by lucky Sean McPadden, who is ready to break some news for us. But first, got to go over the sponsors of the show: Valhalla Combat Sports Incorporated, Ink Shrinks Tattoo, Origin Wellness CBD, Spartan Martial Arts, The Striking Institute, James Clark Sports Psychology and Hypnosis Therapy, The Fighters, and my mom. Sean, thanks for taking the time to talk with us today. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm fabulous. I'm ready to rock and roll and get the show on the road.
So let's not keep them waiting anymore. You mentioned a couple days ago you had some news to break. The platform's yours. I'm going to take a step back.
Well, I got a call. Me and my managers have been talking for about a week and a half now about getting on LFA since I've gotten back from Abu Dhabi. Been really pushing hard to get a fight. Being out there and, being in that UFC environment, it only drove me to feel, I want to push myself that much more. I want to be at that level because I feel like I deserve to be at that level. I've dedicated 10 years of my time to this sport, and I think it's ready to, I'm ready to be there. I just gotta rack up the wins at this point. So it doesn't matter who, doesn't matter where. The 135-pound division is on a hit list, and yours truly is its assassin. So LFA 90, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, September 4th, Labor Day weekend. Don't miss it. I take on Alan Bagasso of Sao Paulo, Brazil, by way of Team Alpha Male. So he's a 3-0-1 guy coming out of Brazil. Looks mainly like a striker, but it looks a little short. Short guys tend to struggle with me. They tend to struggle with the speed and getting through my range, so it'll be a tough night for him. I have a good feeling. Another finish in the book.
Yeah, and it's an exciting fight to break. And when we talked to you, pre-COVID, the plan was laid out. You had it set in stone, and then we had a chance to speak after everything, and you mentioned, how everything's kind of on pause, and you weren't really sure what the opportunity would come. Was it a combination, or I guess, was it seeing the LFA put on those 4 shows, getting the confidence and everything that they're able to put on the shows? Or was it going to, like you mentioned earlier, taking that flight, going with John out to Abu Dhabi, experiencing that? Or would you say it's a combination of both that just said, all right, now it's time to get back into it?
Well, it was a little bit of a combination of both. I was trying to get on one of those 4 shows, and the fighter that I wanted to fight on one of those 4 shows is scurrying like a mouse, making sure the big bad wolf doesn't catch him. I'm not going to name that guy by name. I don't want to say too much about that. But let's just say he's doing a very good job of avoiding me. I think he's a good, talented prospect that I just want to smash too. I don't want to get into that though. Let's stick it to me. But it was definitely, going out there and getting to see and be a part of the big show, and getting to fight a top 15 guy in the world by Nathaniel Wood. He's phenomenal. I mean, he really showed a large, diverse skill set. And, if we would have had more time to game plan, I strongly do believe John would have beat Wood. And I think John is at that level. It was just game plan and a little bit of execution on the game plan. And I think we win that fight. And I've said this to pretty much everybody that I've talked to about the fight. I still think if John had more time to prepare for that fight, we would go out there and we would win that fight. I mean, yeah. There was a lot of factors. The sleep schedule was extremely difficult over there. It was, I'm not going to sit here and make excuses. We lost the fight at the end of the day, but yeah, that's I see myself, I was able to see myself in that octagon. when I was really over there, firsthand, getting to touch that UFC cage, getting to just see it. And I can't tell you how motivating that is to a fighter who's worked already for this. But, I've poured blood, sweat, and tears into this sport for 10 plus years. So I feel ready, and I just feel like a wrecking ball, and there's nothing that can stand in my way right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can speak for myself here. I can't speak for everybody, but I know how visual of a person I am. So being able to experience those things, it's almost like, you take a step back to when you're young, getting a chance to corner a fight before ever actually getting into a fight, getting a chance to experience the light coming on you as you're walking. I mean, the crowd obviously wasn't there. That's a little bit of a different situation as well. But being able to see that, and like you said, knowing that I belong here. So you come back, you take the 98-hour flight or however long it was to get back home. You mentioned you and your management working on it. You get the name for Alon. I mean, I can only assume that it wasn't a name that you instantly recognized. Were you able to find fights on him? And you kind of mentioned he's more of a striker, but what do you see from his game as a whole?
Well, I was able to find 2 fights on him, his first and his latest, so that was nice. He looks to be like a striker. He looks like he wants to trade heavy leather. He looks like he gasses, and that's a very poor quality to have versus me. I mean, people know I fight at a very, very high pace. I mean, Burroughs Nash is a perfect example. Between rounds, he told me, I don't know what happened. That was the hardest I'd ever trained for a fight in my life, and I did come second round. I just had nothing. Fighting me is like stepping in quicksand. I just drowned you and drowned you and drowned you and drowned you, and you're struggling and struggling and struggling. Before you know it, you get that 1 minute rest between rounds. You're like, oh shit, I'm really fucking tired. And then that's in your head, and then I just hunt from there. You guys hear me say it on all my posts. I mean, hunting season is open. It's looking real good right now.
Yeah, and I mean, ideally from my perspective, I want to see your take on it as well. I mean, I think this is a perfect time, that September 4th fight for you. You mentioned, we were talking about John's fight. He got about a 3 weeks notice, so I can only imagine from 3 weeks on, you're getting that working every day, and then you come back in, and then all of a sudden you move that straight into a camp yourself. It's almost like you had a pre-camp. You went and did the travel. I mean, you're obviously working out there, and then you can come and ratchet up for a couple more weeks. Do you think that this was the perfect time, or were you trying to even get a fight sooner than that?
I mean, I was definitely trying to get a fight sooner than that. I've been preparing for a fight for, I don't know, I would say probably 3-4 weeks now, just trying to get something. And, like I said, nothing materialized in those later on LFA cards that I was targeting. But, hey, I got something. And that, during these times, if they offer you a fight, saying no is not the right answer. It's a yes, I would love to fight kind of time. I mean, if I was a promoter myself, I mean, I'm looking for guys that are going to say yes, on 2, 3, 1 even week notice right now, because it's crazy times right now, and there are not a whole lot of events being put on. Like, if your name's in the hat, I mean, you got to go. When your name's called, you got to go. You got to take it. And I'm more than ready. My cardio's stellar. I mean, we've been doing 8-minute rounds. Like, I'm not going to tire. I'm rolling around with brown, black, collegiate wrestlers, striking with Olympians. Like, I'm ready. No matter what this kid tries to throw at me, I'm gonna run him over. I mean, I am a wrecking ball. I mean, everybody knows it. I just got to go out and prove it. I mean, I think there's a lot of people have been telling me that, hey, you belong in the UFC. I just got to go out there and prove it. Now's the time. LFA 90. I'm going to go in there and assassinate another dude. Don't blink, because it happens quick. I mean, you make one mistake with me, and that's the night.
Yeah, and I feel like, the timing of it as well. Like you said, you get to go. You're in the UFC bubble, literally. You're around the most important people in this game, and then obviously you're not the focus, but you're there. You're making the point known, and then all of a sudden now, like you said, there's not a lot of fights going on. So now you're going to be in a featured fight on UFC Fight Pass. So you'd have to imagine eyes are going to be on this fight. Does that, I know it excites you, so I don't want to word it that way. Does that give you a little bit more pressure leading up to the fight rather than, a normal fight where, there could be 100 cards going on a Thursday night?
I've always said pressure makes diamonds, and baby, I shine when them lights come on. So to be honest, I think I'm settling in more and more and more as I become a more established pro. The nerves and kind of like life around fighting I'm able to dial down a little more. I don't get super caught up in, oh, I got to fight. I'm super nervous and everything about that. I mean, it's just another day of training in the room. I got to eat a little cleaner, lose a little weight. Nothing really changes though. I mean, I'm ready for fights at all times. I mean, for me, it's just a matter of keeping my weight down. I mean, I'm a big 135er. The guys that I've fought have told me, I did not expect you to be that strong. So, I mean, I think people really underrate my size for this division. And I'm just going to continue to keep showing people and keep shutting people up. I mean, I've won 9 fights in a row. 8 of those fights by finish. And if I'm right, 6 of those finishes are in the first round. And the other 2 are in the second round and early in the second round. I drown guys. That's just what it is. I mean, you can't keep up with me. I'm at a level above most of these guys right now, and it's just a matter of proving it. And I think I win this fight, and I think I'm a strong contender for the Contender Series. I'm going to make sure my name is heard. So
yeah, and with talks about them trying to do I didn't mean to interrupt you there. We kind of cut out, I think. But with talks of them doing a second run of the Contender Series potentially later this year as well, I mean, this is a good time to try to make a statement. And, you mentioned, you're a finisher. This is what you do. Go check the statistics. I know it's a generic question that I've probably asked you this a million times now with all your fights, but what's the one thing you have to bring with you on September 4th to make sure you get your hand raised and to take advantage of this moment?
I'm going to say more than anything, just grit. Just bite. This is a kind of fight where I want to bite down on my mouth guard. I want to be able to come forward. I want to be pressure heavy, and I just want to make him feel it. I want to make him. I've been developing my power over the past 8 months now, and I mean, when I hit people, guys have trouble holding pads for me. I hit so damn hard right now. So if that's any inclination of like how hard I actually hit, I mean, I feel really confident in my power, and I really kind of want to show that off this fight. I would love to win by knockout. Obviously, I diversify my attack so much that I can't really bet on anything. But I would really love to win by knockout and just like a big pressure finish, pushing him against the cage, cracking him with shots.
Yeah, I mean,
but also, obviously being patient as well. I mean, I do fight like an assassin. I'm all about technique. I'm all about range. I'm all about the game of it, not just being an animal in there. So
yeah, and I'll talk about it to anybody that's willing to listen. That I think you are one of the, if not the most, well-rounded as far as the ease of the fight goes, especially locally as far as fighters go. The way you can go from the feet to the ground, and to hear you say, no, we're really working on this. For a lot of guys that would look at your record and go, oh, well, he's going to try to submit me. I got to keep this on the feet. I mean, that's kind of an eye-opening situation. But knowing that you're looking to fill holes that might not even be there obviously shows the growth you're looking to make here in the sport. With the training for this fight, so far what's happened, and obviously there's still just under a month or so to go, have you noticed any difference, or have you had to make any adjustments with COVID-related any situations? I mean, I know there's restrictions as far as people at gyms, things like that. Has there been anything different, and what adaptations have you made to overcome those situations?
Well, it's been a lot of pod training for us over at the academy and at McCoon's. I've been doing some more one-on-one training with coaches and stuff like that as well. And I've really been able to sharpen my technique and, like I said, work on that power. I mean, we all know I'm fast. I mean, just add a little more pop to them punches. That's a scary recipe for me. I mean, I've just become as dangerous as of a striker as I have as a jiu-jitsu guy. I mean, my jiu-jitsu credentials for MMA kind of speak for themselves. I mean, I've submitted too many guys to count. But yeah, just a lot of pod training, and my pod is gonna be John Castaneda, Rashal, Malik. Super super tough guys, super tough, gritty guys who are gonna push me day in day out. And I'm gonna be honest, Rashal's one of the best grapplers I've ever grappled with in my life. I mean, that's saying something because I've been in there with some really really good guys, and Rashal is, dude, he's just a monster. He is one guy that is probably arguably the most underrated 135er in the state.
Yeah, it's not a name that you might recognize off top, but I mean, everybody that's seen his fight, especially when he made his debut in Minnesota up in North Star Combat, they know exactly how good he is, and it's shown in his performance. So knowing the work you're getting, hearing the confidence. I mean, the one thing you're never lacking is confidence. So I mean, I couldn't be more excited to get the opportunity to see you fight again. I can only imagine how you feel at this point in time. Normally, I mean, this isn't even really a question that I had planned, but it popped in my head. With LFA, we're spoiled, especially in the Twin Cities. They come up here, I mean, a couple times a year, and it seems like sometimes you forget about how big of a promotion it is. But knowing that they went into, they have their bubble going, is it convenient knowing that it's only a 4 or 5 hour drive away to Sioux Falls?
It's awesome that they've kind of set up shop at Sioux Falls because, like I said, I mean, after this fight, I just plan on staying ready, and I don't, and I don't want to be overconfident here. I don't plan on taking a whole lot of damage from this guy. Like I said, I think I'm going to be able to keep him at my range and tire him out and crack the body really hard, like I do with all my opponents. But I don't take much damage fighting this guy. I mean, I'd love to be right back in there. Put me in there later later in September, early October. Like, let's do it. I mean, like I kind of already stated, like, going over to Abu Dhabi showed me one thing. It said, and I told myself, no, I deserve to be in the UFC. I need to just shut up and do the work. And I've done 10 years of work. I deserve this. You know what? I don't deserve it, but I deserve to earn it for myself, I guess is the best way to put it. I owe it to myself is the best way I could say it.
Yeah, and you get the perfect opportunity. Like I said, all eyes on you. Friday, September 4th, at I think they call it the Pentagon, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Catch it live on UFC Fight Pass. Before we let you go, always like to give that open platform just to thank any teammates, sponsors, anybody outside the gym that's been there for you leading up to this one. The platform is yours, sir.
Well, first and foremost, I want to give a couple shout out to the sponsors. Iridium Sports Agency for putting everything together for me. Jason, Jacob, Bucky, Lance, all those guys. And then I'm guarantee I'm missing tons of names. I mean, they are the hardest working management agency in MMA, and I couldn't be happier with them. If anybody was to ask me, if they were trying to elevate their career, what should they do first? I would point them in those guys' direction. They are and have been like truly a real blessing for me and my career. Second, I mean, Hong Tai, Maple Grove, Rogers, Albertville. Y'all know how I love my Thai food. I mean, so good. Can't wait to give me some of that pineapple fried rice. Kenyon Law, always having my back through 5, 6, 7 years, however long I've been doing this. Todd's been there backing me. Accelerated Chiropractic with Renee Taylor. She's been there forever as well, keeping me together. McCoon's Martial Arts, the Academy, Chris McCoon, Greg Nelson, John Castaneda, Rashal Malik, all those guys, pushing me day in and day out, making me better, just creating me to be the absolute menace that I've been for this 135-pound division. Shout out to my mom. Gotta shout out Mom.
Always.
And huge shout out to my girlfriend for being there day in and day out, putting up with me on my bad days and being with me on my good days. We're kind of figuring out a better chemistry and have been figuring out a better chemistry for each and every fight. And, she's been a huge blessing in my career as well. She was with me for my first pro fight and since then. And, we've really, she has really helped me learn how to become a better man, better fighter, better overall everything. She's amazing. So shout out to my girl.
That's awesome.
Otherwise, man, thank you to Mark Berry for having me out. Ed Soares, LFA 90, September 4th. Your boy's about to go out there, get another win by finish. That'll be 5 wins, 5 finishes. And I'm gonna make this one. I'm gonna give him into the second round because I give everybody the second round. I hate saying that I'm going to finish people in the first round. Nobody wants to watch the fight. They just want to watch the highlights. But I think I'm going to go in there. I'm going to finish him in the second round. I'm going to go TKO this time, though.
I love it. The predictions made. There's nothing else for me to say. I'm TJ O'Connor. That's Lucky Sean McPadden. This was another episode with Trash Talk, Damian and TJ. Like the video. Subscribe below. Don't be a hoe.